Good morning, beloveds. You hear the fan, I'm sorry. It's 75 degrees in my house and it's hot. It's sticky and hot. I think I heard just the beginnings of the thunderstorms that they promised us. So I got up, got my bike ride in, came home hot and sticky from that, so I grabbed a shower so that I could wash my hair. And now I'm sitting in this room and it's hot. And I'm like, no. So here we are. Okay. It is January 18th. Our title is Intuition. Our first quote is, "For thou art great and doest wondrous things. Thou art God alone." And that is Psalm 86:10. Ooh. The second quote is, "We should then see that the world of multiplicity is deep-rooted in a universe of unity. There is that nothing happens by chance, that we live under the government of law." And that is Science of Mind, page 102 and 103. In Science of Mind, we know that nothing happens by chance. A cause sets the law of mind in motion, and an inevitable effect results. We also know that there is an all-loving, all-wise, all-powerful energy in the universe that we call God. And this God intelligence operates for the highest good of all. Pat had not had ice cream in years. As she drove by an ice cream parlor one day, an irresistible urge compelled her to stop and enter. Once inside, she noticed that the clerk, who spoke English haltingly, was experiencing difficulty talking with someone on the telephone. She turned to Pat and pleaded, "Please help. I no understand." Pat took the phone and discovered that she was talking to a girl who sounded as though she might be neurodivergent. Since the girl could not formulate her thoughts very well, it took Pat nearly 15 minutes of patient listening and questioning to discover that the girl's mother was quite ill and that there was a phone number that Pat needed to call for help. When Pat dialed the number, she reached the mother's sister, who said she would immediately go over and take care of the matter. Coincidence? I think not. God in action? A decided yes. I know there is a power greater than I am that resides in me. I know that this power guides and protects me and is aware of my every move. As I draw closer and closer to my beloved God, more and more do I participate in miracles. Thank you, God, for the greatest miracle of all in my life. And that is Rainbow Johnson. All right. Yes, I'm struggling a bit today. There was a word in there that is no longer in, and I'm going to use the word in fashion. It's just no longer appropriate. And so while I do try and gender neutral, I also, if there's a word in there that is no longer the accepted term, I'm going to change it. I just didn't know where to go with it. And that's the way language is. Sometimes we have to read things, and when we read them, we understand, okay, let's understand that the language has shifted. This doesn't mean the same thing anymore. But there's no point in me using the word on this where it's going to be recorded. It's like, no, I can choose a different word. So, yeah. But we've all had those, there's a Doctor Who episode, and I think the name of it is called Turn Left. And the whole point of the episode is when she gets to the stop sign, if she turns left, one thing happens. If she turns right, a completely different thing happens. Now, in this case, if she turns right, her world goes on, what have you. And if she turns left, she saves the world. The problem is she also gives up her life to save the world. Now, it's Doctor Who, and of course, they figured that all out. And she didn't actually, they brought her back. But rarely are we asked to make that choice. Rarely are we asked to make that choice. But frequently we are asked to answer prayers for other people. And we don't even know that. We have no idea when we are the answer to somebody's prayer. Now, occasionally they will tell us, i.e. the food market that we have done in partnership with the Montgomery County Food Bank. There was one day when my job is, for lack of a better, I'm traffic control. So I'm the one who says, here, come here, stop here, move up here, and so I get to interact with people in a way that a lot of other people don't. And this woman came up and she literally told us there was nothing in her house. She didn't know how she was going to feed her kid. She was literally praying. And then she saw our sign. We were literally the answer to her prayer. And we never know. We never know. So occasionally things will happen. And it's that still small voice in us going, well, here, go do this. In this particular instance, she hadn't eaten ice cream in years. And she was called to stop and have. Now the question is, did she actually have the ice cream? I don't know. But she was literally the answer to a prayer. She was the answer to a prayer of several people. The employee who was struggling to understand the child who was struggling because she needed help. Why she called the ice cream parlor? Maybe it was the last phone number dialed. Maybe it was just, that's the phone number she knows because she likes the ice cream parlor. With her being, different, mentally different, you never know. Like if you ask me I know two or three phone numbers because I'm just bad at remembering phone numbers. Remembering numbers is not one of my skills, or my gifts. I have to work very hard at it. And so if you ask me for a phone number in an emergency situation, the most likely phone number that I could give you right off the top of my head is my work phone number. And so she, she's called, and this child calls this number seeking help. This woman who works there can't help the child. Pat, who has no reason to stops. And she had the patience to spend 15 minutes on the phone with this child who was able to give her the information that she needed to call somebody else. And the employee was nice enough to let her spend 15 minutes on her work phone. So you never know when you are going to be the answer to someone's prayer. You just don't. And frequently, you'll never know that you were. So when we get called with those strange urges, you always have what I like to tell you is the test. Is this an ego? Is this a spirit? The difference is, you can always check yourself by who does this help and who does it hurt. Now, stopping for ice cream, did it help anybody? Yes. Did she know it was going to? No. But did it hurt anybody? Absolutely not. Why not stop for ice cream? So when you are in a situation where you get this strange urge and you walk in and you go about your business and you do whatever, you leave, and then you have no idea whose life you may have impacted in that whatever it is that you're doing. You don't know. And that's the really cool thing about life. You walking into this place that you hadn't expected to be and simply smiling or having a nice conversation with somebody, you may have answered their prayer in a way that you will never know. And that is the really cool thing about life. And that is what we believe in Science of Mind. That's, there's always there's a cause, there's an effect, and just check yourself, check yourself. If you have one of those urges, follow through with it and see if something interesting doesn't happen. You may not save a life. You might. You may not answer a prayer, but you may. And the prayer that you answer, you may never know. But that's the world. That's the world. And that's the really cool thing is, you've helped somebody and you didn't know. And maybe they'll tell you and maybe they won't. But it's always wonderful to be prepared to do that. It's just, you never know when you're going to be the answer to someone's prayer. And it doesn't require anything of you other than being exactly who and what you are, being authentically yourself. And that's the really cool thing. You know, you can answer people's prayers just by being you. And who are you? A beloved child of God. So there we are. All right. So I would say that the mission today, should we choose to accept it, is exactly that. It's to follow that small, quiet voice that urges us to do something that's a little different. And like I said, you can always check if you want to know if it's ego or spirit, then just who does it hurt? Who does it help? And if the only person it helps is you, that's more than okay. All right. And does it hurt anybody? Well, if it hurts anybody, it's probably ego. Or something else, but you know, it's not spirit. So that's how when you get those little strange urges, you're like, well, where is this coming from? Check that. That's how you check it. So, but give in to those little urges and just see if you don't have a pretty interesting interaction. All right. So that's the mission. I know it's kind of a strange one today, but it is what it is, right? It's about intuition and learning to listen to it. And I don't know if I ever said that the reading today was by Rainbow Johnson. So sometimes I forget, and I want to make sure that I give her credit because that was her column that day. So the second mission that I always give is the spiritual practice of doing something loving for yourself, doing something kind for yourself, doing something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like. It can be as simple as taking a deep breath before you speak. It can look like taking a nap. It can look like taking a walk. It can look like eating dessert first. This spiritual practice, one, I encourage you to practice on yourself. You are your own best test subject. You get immediate feedback. But two, it is about self-care. It is absolutely about self-care. You deserve your own love. You deserve your own kindness. You deserve your own compassion. So self-care, you can't pour from an empty cup. If you're going to follow those urges and then end up spending 15 minutes on the phone, you know, you want to be in that place, you know, love, kindness, compassion. It's also about making room for joy. That's why I say eat dessert first. Sometimes I literally mean it, and sometimes always remember, because, you know, I'm a student of Reverend Jesse and everything's a metaphor. It's don't save the good stuff. You know, don't save the good stuff. If you want to stop for ice cream, stop for ice cream. It may do nothing more than, you know, make your mouth happy. But there's no harm in that. In fact, there's a lot of good in that. And you might get to make an employee's day by being nice to them. You know, sometimes the best thing that you can do, especially in retail, and since I do work in customer service, I understand this, is you might come up to that employee and the person in front of you was just really awful. And then you just being really nice, that's an answer to a prayer, because it restores their faith that, yeah, that customer and the customer before may have been just having a really bad day and it took it out on the employee. And you're there to remind them, hey, you know what? The world's a pretty good place. The world's a pretty good place. And that's what I mean about answering prayers. It's as simple as that. Being nice to retail workers. Trust me, it's a little miracle in and of itself. Or anybody in customer service. Okay, so eat dessert first. Good things can come out of that, you know. Hey, it is a spiritual practice because I'm encouraging you to connect with the source of your own being in love, kindness, and compassion. I am encouraging you to connect to an infinite source of love, kindness, and compassion. The more you practice, the easier it is, the more likely it becomes a habit, and it becomes what I like to call a default setting. My mom's an electrical engineer, so default setting. So no matter what happens, your first response is always going to be loving, kind, and compassionate for yourself and for others that you encounter. That's why I encourage you to do it every day. All right. I also encourage you to do something to engage your mind and your body. I encourage you to drink plenty of water. Hydration is super important. If you're going to answer a prayer or participate in a miracle, hydration will help you do the best job you can. I encourage you to get early in your day bright light. We're facing thunderstorms here, so there was no light this morning. In fact, it was pretty darn dark. But so artificial light counts. It's about circadian rhythms. So you get early in your day bright light. It resets that hormone circadian rhythm. You'll have morning during the day. You'll sleep better at night. And then you feel better to be that miracle, that prayer answer, or to receive your miracle, or to receive the answer to your prayer. Because sometimes they're looking us in the face and we don't recognize them. So, this is all the things that you can do to help you get into that place. And then the last one, and this is a quote from Ernest Holmes, and I don't remember which book I got it out of. I just remember it was Ernest Holmes. Open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you you do live in heaven right here, right now. We have thunderstorms. If I didn't have to go to work today, I get to go to work today, I would sit home, throw those windows open, and allow that breeze, that thunderstorm breeze, to come in. And sometimes that's what it's like. When we open the windows of the soul, we get thunderstorms. And they come in and they rearrange everything, and we have this new outlook on life. And sometimes they're just a gentle breeze. But it's about, and that's when we open the windows of our soul, that's where we see the miracles. That's where we see the prayers answered. That's where we see how we participate in this world. All right. So please. And then, as always, you can always take Emma's advice. Look for the good and praise it. And I will remind you that any situation you walk into, no matter what is going on, there's always good in the situation because you have walked into it. All right? You bring the good with yourself. So sometimes when you are looking for that good, you need to look in the mirror. Okay? All right. I think I should be at the social media part. We are Creative Life Spiritual Center, Creative Life Spark on the social medias that we are on. I'm the running Rev Ryan on the social medias that I am on. So please feel free to go like, subscribe, and do all that stuff so that you know what's going on. And then if you want to know what's going on with the center, please email info@creativelife.org. That will get you on our constant contact. Then you'll know what's going on at the center. We have this amazing soul session happening on Facebook Live at 7 tonight. Oh, this one's going to be good. I know this one's going to be good. Partly because I know Cleo, and I'm super excited. And to see where she's going since we had that first soul session with her. Oh, yeah. So I'm super excited about this one. So if you can join us, please do. Otherwise, we don't take that video down, the soul session video, so you can always scroll back. Or they'll go on the YouTube channel. As soon as I get off the Zoom after the soul session, I download it and upload it. I don't have to edit that one for YouTube. So, yes. So, yeah, I'm really super excited about that. But the hot links are hot. When it says click here now, it'll take you right to where either the information you want or the person that can get it for you. So, in that constant contact, the soul session click takes you right to the soul session playlist. So if you wanted to, you could go back and watch Cleo's first soul session, which was, I think, in 2017, maybe 2018. I'm not sure, but it's there. So, okay. So please do that. And then, yeah, that's the thing that I know that's coming up that I'm super excited about. Okay. And then I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, and an enchanting day, a wonder-filled day, an awesome day. I'm going to have a Wellness Wednesday. I work in a health food store. So I'm a part-time staff minister and a full-time health food person. It's part of my ministry. It's like, I want to help people feel better. Body is one way. Mind is the other. Spirit is the total package. So I'm going to have Wellness Wednesday. So Wellness Wednesday. Wonderful. I probably already said that. A good day. And if that is too much pressure, simply have a day, because you are enough just as you are. You are a beloved child of God. You are a brilliant light. You are a divine spark. You are spirit in motion. You are God in action. You are godly, in whom God is well pleased and well represented. This is who you are. This is who I know you to be. So please experience that for yourself. but take care of yourself. So big believer in that. All right. So Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. I will be back with you around 9 a.m. tomorrow. We will have that soul session on Facebook at 7 tonight, Central, because we are in Texas. And I think that's probably it, because my mind just went blank. So take care of yourself. Know that you are loved, and I will see you next time.